الله يا الله يا الله. In the name
We sent messengers as bringers of good tidings and warners, so that mankind will have no argument against Allah after the messengers. And ever is Allah exalted in might and wise.
Well, he was taking the side which goes toward Syria. And Syria, or Blad Hashem, is the area where he went. People of Midian, he went there. You remember we talked about them before, and that's where he went. These were, I think, the people of Shuaib, if you remember those guys. Well, anyhow, when he went back that way, he realized something. I didn't bring anything with me. I didn't even bring a change of clothes. I didn't even bring any other shoes. All he had was some little old weak-looking sandals that you wear around the palace, and they fell apart real fast. And he's walking on the hot sand, burning up his feet, and he didn't live like that before. He wasn't a desert person, and he had no food, and he had no drink, and he was walking. He said, I can't do this. And then all of a sudden he looked in the back behind him. Oh, my God, look, look, look. There's some people coming. A whole bunch of people looks like coming over there. I better hide. So he hid in the day. And then at night, he would travel. Of course, it was a lot cooler at night. That's one thing. Easier to walk on the sand for him because the sand was cooler. But you know what the problem is? At night, you can't see anything, can you? You might step on something, like a scorpion or a snake or a rock. You could hurt yourself. So at night he would travel. In the day he would hide himself. And this went on for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5, until the 8th day. And trust me, he was exhausted. He had just gone so far. And how much water did he have? He didn't find a root. Now, sometimes in the desert you can find roots of something. Pull the root out of the ground and kind of rub it against a rock or something, get it to break open. You can get some kind of liquid or eat the root or get some value out of it. Probably didn't taste very good, but at least you'd have something. He couldn't even find that. Well, when he finally come up out of the desert, on the other side of the desert, he saw a tree. He said, a tree, at last. And he got up to the tree and just collapsed by the tree. And he was watching, and there was a well down at the bottom of this valley there, and he saw this well. And he saw these guys coming up with their sheep, and they're getting water there, and he's going, that's a good idea. And these guys were moving this big, huge rock off the top of the well. And then he saw, looks like some other sheep, they never did go up and get their water. So these guys would come, they would leave, some guys would come, and they would leave. Different groups of sheep. They would line them up because you can't mix them together, you get them all confused, you know. So they were trying to keep the sheep separate, going in, going out. But this one little group of sheep never did go up and get any water. So he started moving down there closer, and guess what? It was 2 girls taking care of those sheep. Now, everybody knows men take care of sheep out in the desert because it's very tough, it's very dangerous, and you have to be very strong. And how are you going to take care of sheep? And it's just 2 little girls, you know. So he asked them, how come you don't get some water? And they're like shy. They're like, oh, didn't look right up at him. They said, well, you know, these men are, you know, they're coming first. They were too shy to go up there. And then what happened when the men would leave, the men would put the rock back on top of the well. Now, this rock was big. Would you like to know how big the rock was? It was so big, it took 10 men all around it to pick it up and move it. And everybody's gone now. And Moses looked at that rock. Remember I told you Moses is strong. Do you recall I said that? Yes. He walked over to that rock. And he got under it. And he lifted it. And he put it to his side. No. And he brought the sheep and watered the sheep. 10 men to move this rock. Moses did it by himself. What do you think of that? Pretty strong, huh? It gets better. Well, he put the rock back. And the girls left with the sheep. He went back up, sat under the tree, and he went, I forgot to get a drink. He forgot. See how shaitan can make you forget. You get so excited about other things. But you see how he really liked to help people? He was always trying to help people, just like helping those girls. Well, it wasn't very long, and one of the girls came back. A couple days, whatever, she came back, and she was looking for him. She said, my father wants to talk to you. He said, what? What's going on? She said, well, you see, it's like this, sir. Me and my sister were the only two who can take care of the sheep. As we told you, you know, that we're the only ones. My father's very old, and he can't take care of the sheep. He can't go out. And now he wants to thank you. He's inviting you to come. By the way, do you know how to say invite in Arabic? Da'wah. Da'wah. Can you say da'wah? Da'wah. Yeah. It means to invite. So, and it's always been the tradition all throughout the whole land that if anybody gives you an invitation like that, you must accept it. Even in today, you find this in the Middle East. If anybody gives an invitation, you should accept it. In fact, that's part of being a good Muslim, is to give an invitation to come to your place and also to accept invitation. But anyhow, so he accepted it. And he went. And along the way, though, he's following her. You know what he did? He told her, do you mind to go behind me? She's like, why? He said, well, just because. So, okay, so she went behind him. But she knew why. Then when they got there, and he met the father was very happy, slaughtered the sheep, and they had food, and they enjoyed. He took care of Moses. He was very nice to him. And then the girl came, and she said to her father, you know what? I think this is a good idea for me to marry this guy. He said, you know, I'm thinking the same thing. It's a good idea for you to marry this guy, but we don't know about him. He's telling us some story about he was a prince in Egypt, he killed somebody, and they're looking for him, and I don't know. I mean, you know, he seems nice, but he killed somebody, and they are looking for him. But again, though, he's very nice. How do I know that he'd be the right one for my daughter? She said, well, let me tell you what. When we were traveling all the way coming over here, he was too shy to even look at me. So he asked if I would walk behind him so he wouldn't be looking at me while we were traveling. He said, he did that? Yeah. That's the guy for me. And he got them married. But here's the deal. He said, would you like to get married to my daughter? And on a condition, though, you work for me for 8 years taking care of the animals. Then you're free to go. Or, if you stay on 2 more years, make it 10 as a favor to me, and that's also cool. Moses said, this is a very good deal. After all, A, I don't have any place to go. B, I don't have any job. C, I don't have any money. Oh, yeah, and I don't even have a wife. This is an excellent idea. So he got married, and he was very happy. And for the 8 years, he just toiled away, working, taking care of the sheep, doing so many things. And then, as a favor, he stayed the other 2 years, too. But guess what he did while he was there with the sheep? He used to go out into the desert. He would go out, and he would look, and he would observe, and he would think, and he would watch, and he would see things, and really contemplate. You know what contemplate means? It's like when you think about a thing, and you look at it, and you think all about it. So he would notice at night the stars, and he would think how these stars are different places every night. And in the daytime, he would look at the things that come up out of the ground. How does this come up out of the ground? What makes it come up? And how does the water come down and take what looks like it's dead, but you put water